Most people live their entire lives unseen, not because they lack talent, but because they never decided who they are. The moment you decide, the world starts to feel your presence. This is where invisible ends. From invisible to unstoppable, build unshakable presence. They will not tell you this in school. They will not tell you this at work. They will not tell you this in polite conversation. But the world does not reward talent alone. It does not bow to potential. It does not stop for people who are good but unseen. The world responds to presence, not loudness, not arrogance, not noise. Presence. There are people who enter a room and nothing changes, and there are people who enter a room and the air itself shifts. The difference is not luck. It is not birthright. It is not privilege. It is an inner decision made long before anyone was watching. Most people live invisible lives not because they lack ability, but because they never claimed their space. They shrink to fit expectations. They soften their edges to be liked. They silence their truth to avoid discomfort. And slowly, quietly, they train the world how to treat them. Dale Carnegie understood this long before social media, before branding, before stages and spotlights. He understood that human beings respond not to words, but to conviction behind words. Not to movement, but to direction. Not to effort, but to clarity of purpose. You do not become unstoppable by being perfect. You become unstoppable by being grounded. Unshakable presence is not something you fake. It is something you build, brick by brick, inside your own mind. Think of Thomas Edison, a man dismissed as slow, ridiculed as impractical, mocked by the very institutions meant to educate him. Yet he walked with certainty because he was anchored to belief. He did not ask the world for permission to try. He did not negotiate with doubt. He stood firm while the world adjusted around him. Presence begins the moment you stop asking, "Am I enough?" and start declaring, "I am responsible." Responsibility is the foundation of influence. The moment you accept full ownership of your thoughts, your habits, your reactions, your direction, something changes. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop waiting for confidence to arrive. You stop hoping someone will recognize you. You recognize yourself first, and that recognition becomes visible. Most people misunderstand confidence. They think it is charisma, charm, extroversion. Carnegie knew better. Confidence is clarity. It is knowing what you stand for and what you will no longer tolerate from others and from yourself. A man with no clarity is easily ignored. A woman with no direction is easily dismissed. But someone who knows where they are going, even if they are still far from arriving, commands attention without asking for it. Unshakable presence is born in solitude. It is forged when no one is applauding, when no one is validating, when no one is reassuring you that it will work. It is built in the discipline of showing up when motivation disappears. Henry Ford was not the smartest engineer of his time, but he was relentless in vision. While others debated feasibility, he committed to inevitability. And the world bends to those who decide first and doubt later. Decision is power. Indecision leaks energy. Hesitation fractures authority, but decision, even imperfect, creates momentum. You do not need more confidence. You need fewer negotiations with fear. Fear will always speak. It is ancient. It is loud. It is convincing. But fear does not disappear when you feel ready. It retreats when you move forward despite it. Presence grows when your actions align with your values, when your words match your standards, when your behavior is consistent even when no reward is immediate. People trust consistency more than brilliance. That is why quiet individuals with firm boundaries often outgrow louder ones with weak discipline. Discipline is the silent architect of presence. It shapes posture, it sharpens speech, it steadies emotion. When you control your reactions, you control the room. Abraham Lincoln faced ridicule, defeat, and public humiliation before history carved his name into permanence. What made him formidable was not dominance, but depth. He listened carefully, he spoke deliberately, and when he acted, it was with moral weight. Presence is not rushing to speak. It is knowing when silence carries more authority. The invisible remain invisible because they seek approval. The unstoppable stop seeking permission. You do not build presence by demanding attention. You build it by becoming undeniable. And undeniability is a product of inner alignment. When belief, vision, and action move in the same direction, your energy changes. People feel it before they understand it. That's when you are no longer ignored. That's when you are felt. And once you are felt, you are never invisible again.
They will try to explain it away. They will say, you got lucky. They will say, you changed. They will say, you're not the same anymore. And they will be right. Because the moment you begin building unshakable presence, you stop living for comfort and start living from conviction. Most people live reactive lives. They wait for emails, moods, approval, trends. Their identity shifts with circumstances. That is why their presence feels thin, inconsistent, forgettable. But presence thickens when you stop reacting and start directing. Direction does not require certainty, it requires commitment. Dale Carnegie taught that people are drawn to those who make them feel certain in an uncertain world. Not certain about outcomes, but certain about intent. When you know who you are and where you're going, you become an anchor, and humans instinctively trust anchors. This is why clarity is dangerous. Clarity removes excuses. Clarity exposes weakness. Clarity demands action. That is why most avoid it. But the moment you decide what you stand for, what you will work for, sacrifice for, walk away for, your presence sharpens. You speak with less explanation. You move with less hesitation. You stop over-justifying your choices. And suddenly, people listen differently. Not because your voice got louder, but because your energy stopped wavering. Vision is the next layer. Not fantasy, not vague hope. Vision with structure. Walt Disney was laughed out of offices for dreaming too big, but while others saw cartoons, he saw a universe. And that internal picture governed his behavior. He dressed for it, he spoke for it, he endured rejection for it. Vision disciplines behavior. When you know what you are building, you no longer waste energy proving yourself. You invest it in progress. And progress, visible or not, creates gravity. People are pulled toward momentum. Presence is momentum you can feel. But momentum collapses without discipline. Discipline is not punishment, it is self-respect in action. It is waking up when your body wants to sleep. It is practicing when no one is clapping. It is preparing when no one is watching. And here is the truth most never accept. Discipline builds confidence faster than success ever will. Because success comes after results. Confidence comes after promises kept to yourself. Every time you do what you said you would do, even when it's hard, you reinforce an identity. An identity is the core of presence. You do not act confident, you become reliable. And reliability creates inner calm. Calm is power. A calm person in a chaotic environment automatically stands out. While others rush, explain, panic, you pause. You observe. You respond with intention. That pause is presence. Resilience then becomes non-negotiable. You will be tested, ignored, doubted, delayed. Every meaningful path demands endurance. Lincoln lost elections. Edison failed thousands of times. Carnegie himself was mocked for teaching soft skills in a hard world. But resilience is not stubbornness, it is adaptability without surrender. You bend without breaking. You adjust without abandoning your core. That is unshakable presence. Learning fuels it. The moment you decide you are a lifelong student, your ego relaxes and your capacity expands. You stop defending ignorance. You start absorbing wisdom. You listen deeply, not to agree, but to understand. People feel respected in your presence, and respect multiplies influence. Gratitude seals it. Not performative gratitude, but grounded appreciation. When you are grateful, you are not desperate. When you are not desperate, you are not needy. And neediness repels presence faster than silence ever could. Gratitude anchors you in sufficiency, and sufficiency is magnetic. This is how you move from invisible to unstoppable. Not overnight, not loudly, not dramatically, but decisively. You stop shrinking, you stop explaining, you stop waiting. You stand where you are with clarity, discipline, vision, and calm, and you let the world adjust. And it always does, because presence is not something you chase, it is something you become.
This channel isn't for everyone. It's for those who choose discipline over excuses.